Hello, fellow library lover, and welcome to another webinar in which we'll discuss an online database. Today's online database is Science in Context by Gale and Cengage. Hi, my name is Stuart Schaefer, and I'm the head of the reference department at the Farmingdale Public Library. And if you need to contact me for any of today's information, you can call me, well, when the library opens, at 249-9090, extension 203. My email is fdaleref@nassaulibrary.org. And to get to the library's website, just go to farmingdalelibrary.org. So today we're going to be talking about Science in Context, which is a wonderful resource for students and adults. Basically, it's a earth science, space, technology, life science, math, and biographical resource. It's accessible from the library homepage, and I'm just going to show you an outline that I generated so you can kind of see where we're going with today's presentation. So first I'm going to show you how to get to the library website and how to get to the database. And I'm going to talk about what it covers: earth science and space and technology, math and life sciences. We're going to talk about some of the topics that it covers. There are over 650 of them. There's a help function, and we're going to do a simple search. I'm going to go through that with you. It talks about references and statistics and academic journals and experiments and biographies and magazine articles and all sorts of stuff. If the format of the database looks familiar, it should, because a couple of weeks ago I covered Biography in Context also by Gale and Cengage. They've made their graphic user interface very similar, so if you know how to pretty much use one Gale product, you'll know how to use another one. So without further ado, I'm going to screen share the library website so that you can see what I'm actually doing. So on your screen is the library website. You can get to it at farmingdalelibrary.org. And today we're going to go under Research, which is at the top green bar. We're going to click under Subject. And then we are going to scroll down just a bit to, you guessed it, Science and Technology. We're going to scroll down also to at the very bottom, the last link, Gale in Context Science. And the brief blurb that we put on the webpage is: search earth science, space and technology, life science, math, and biographical resources. So we're going to click that. And because I logged in earlier today just to practice this demonstration webinar, it let me in. But before you get to it from home, you're going to need to put in your 14-digit barcode on the back of your library card. So there's a lot happening on this page. I did want to show you this, where I just put the cursor under the word search, under the words Gale in Context Science. That's where we're going to do our search. But before we do that, I want to show you some of the topics of interest. Usually there are about 3 of them, as indicated by these 3 dots. The first one is obviously about coronavirus. The second one is about space exploration. And the third one, I'm clicking the dots right down here, is about fermentation, about converting sugars and starches to alcohol by enzymes in the yeast. If you scroll down further, you're going to be able to browse by topic. There are about 8 major topics that they cover. The first one is biographies, then biology, then chemistry, earth and environmental science, general science, health and medicine, math, engineering, tech, and then physics and astronomy. The numbers in parentheses refer to the number of subjects or topics in that particular subject. So biographies, there are 94 of them, starting with Albert Einstein and Regina Benjamin, and then Vandana Shiva. And if we scroll down a bit, on the bottom right, you would be able to browse all 652 topics. Let's take a look at that. So these are the topics. It's a huge, huge long page. It's alphabetical, starting with the left column, then the middle column, and then the third right column. This is all of them. And you can see which ones in this case they updated. For instance, the scientific debate, I'm highlighting it so you can see it. Whoops, sorry. That one was updated, as was clothing on the left over here, right there. So if you wanted to find out about any of these topics, you could click on, for example, and I'm at the top of the page, you can click on 3D printing, and then you'll get an overview and a whole bunch of other things, which we will go into momentarily. So we're back to the Browse Topics page. You can actually filter the topics by, this is where we can view all of them, but you can search by new or updated topics, just by biographies or biology or chemistry or earth and environmental science or general science and health and medicine and math, engineering and tech, and physics and astronomy. So it's a great way to filter your search so you can look for just exactly what you're looking for. So this is the home page, and we looked at these topics of interest. And now I want to show you how we actually do a search. The search that I'm going to do is pretty generic. It's on electrons. Electrons, I say. So I'm going to type in the word electrons. And if you notice, as I'm typing, autofill kicks in. I started with ELECT, and then it filled it in with electrical engineering or electromagnetic spectrum or electromagnetism. We want electrons. So as I do that, it's going to narrow it down to electronic communications, electronic publications, but all the way down, maybe the 2, 4, 6, 8th option is what we're really looking for, which is electrons. So there's a lot happening on this page as well. I'm starting from the top, but Gale in Context Science has nicely organized it by content types for you, for the student or adult who's looking for scientific related information. There are 1,800 references, 226 images, over 50,000 academic journals. Yes, that's a lot. 800 biographies, 11 videos, 10,000 plus magazines, 25 experiments, and 273 audio nuggets, 2 articles on statistics, and over 6,000 news articles. Give me one sec. So right now we're looking at the reference articles. That's what this is over here. And let's just click the first one. But before I click on it, I'm going to click the second, by the way, on electric current. So this gives you the title of it, which is Electric Current. The author is Donald Beatty, and it came from the Gale Encyclopedia of Science, the 5th edition. It's an article or an entry from December 15th, 2019. Over 1,000 words. It's the topic overview is down here. And this 1180L is called the Lexile level. That's a way of indicating how comprehensive, how complicated, how hard it is to read an article for a student. It's a level of measuring how hard it is for a particular student to read. So generally the higher the numbers, I've seen them up to 1,500, maybe even more. That's probably for more advanced students, probably 11th, 12th grade or even higher. You can sort and filter by Lexile level, and we will do that at some point. Don't let me forget. So I'm going to click on electric current, and this gives you the narrative information, author, the editors, the date, publisher, document type, it's a topic overview, the length, content level, and the Lexile measure. The Lexile measure, the content level is also an indicator of the complexity of the words and the content of the article. So generally, the higher the level, the more sophisticated the student would have to be to understand the article. So this is the article. It looks like they've broken it out by subject or subheading: current and the transfer of electric charge, the speed of an electric current, and I'm highlighting electric current and energy, electric current and magnetism, direct current, alternating current, AC and DC, and then current flow versus electron flow. Some things I wanted to point out. If you notice, I'm at the top of the article now. The words that are in blue, electric current in this case, or motion and electric charge and metals, and electrons on the first page, I'm sorry, in the first line, those are linkable links. So if we clicked on the first words in the article, electric current, we will go to articles for electric current. You could choose this first one from the Gale Encyclopedia of Science. But if we wanted motion, we can click on these over here, either electric current from World of Physics, or oscillations or electromagnetic field. I'm going to close the window. And if you also notice, some of the words are in red. In particular, those are the words that we searched for. We searched for electrons, so here it's highlighted, and right under it's highlighted, and right over here it's highlighted. So that just kind of tells you what you searched for. You can translate the article into any of these languages. It looks like there are something on the order of 30 or 40 different translatable languages. You can make the font size bigger. Just know that the bigger the font, the less you have on the page, which means you'll have to scroll more. The smaller the font means there's more on the page and you'll have to scroll less, but you might have to squint. You can listen to the article. I just showed you a bit, and now I want to close it. Let me close it. Okay. I just close it by clicking on any of the white area on the page. You could save it to, I believe, Google Drive, and then Microsoft Cloud. That's the second icon over here. You can email the article to your address from whatever your address you're sending it from is, and you can put in a little message over here. You can also download it to your computer. And finally, on the right side, and I didn't mean finally, I have a lot more to show you. It's good stuff. On the right side, you can explore more articles like this. We could get an article from Electric Current from the World of Physics from 2014, or Electric Current from the UXL Encyclopedia of Science. And these are the article contents over here, right over here on the right. I kind of hit it, and minus will just make it disappear. The plus makes it appear. And if I clicked on the first one, it'll take you directly to that article or section of the article. In this case, it's right over here, so it didn't move the page much. But if I wanted related subjects to electrons, I could click on these related topics over here, and I can click on magnetism. And again, it's the subject of magnetism. We have reference articles. There are audio feeds, there are experiments, there are news articles, images, academic journals, videos, and magazines. And these are the articles on electric current. And if you click on them, the format will be the same as the electron article that we just looked at. So I'm going to go back. And yes, there's plenty to show you. At the top of the page, if you are interested in this particular article on electric current, you can click on Cite, and you can actually use it for bibliography. Notice that there are 3 different citation tool schemes that you could work with: MLA 8th edition, APA 6th edition, or Chicago Manual 17th edition. You would click one of them, and then you can copy and paste it, and boom. You can export it to either Noodle Tools EasyBib, RefWorks, Google Drive, or OneDrive. It makes creating a bibliography much easier. If you wanted to, you could send the article to your Google Drive or OneDrive or email, which kind of duplicates at the bottom of the page. You could download it. You could even print it to your local printer. And if you needed a permalink, you would use this particular link. I clicked over here. Let me show you again. Click on Get Link to get this permalink, which will allow you, the user, to get the link back to this particular page. Very useful. And also, if you're signed in, you can create notes and highlights. You can view all the highlights and notes that you take about it. It's up to you. So I showed you that article, and let's see what's happening at the bottom of the page. My notes tell me that I should scroll down, so I shall. Some articles have key terms at the end of the article. In this case, conventional current, Coulomb, frequency, hertz, picoampere, and speed of light. This is great for a student to use to learn, increase their vocabulary, and to make even more sense of the article. You can copy and paste it or put it on a flashcard to impress your student and others and your teachers. So these are books that use this article or that they cited. There are some websites at the bottom. This one is Science Alert. And this is an article about scientists having set a distance record with a new type of electric current. We come back to the source citation, and there are more articles like this where I just highlighted it for you. So what else can I show you? I definitely wanted to show you this. So we're looking for electrons. I just showed you reference articles, I believe. And let's look at images. So these are just images. You can sort them by either relevance or document title. It looks like there are over 200 of them. It might help you in for a term paper, or it might actually help you understand the composition of, let's say, a carbon atom, or what an LED light looks like, or the aurora borealis, things of that ilk. Those are just images. Now, for those of you who might be in the upper level grades, maybe 11th grade, 12th grade, or even college, hope you college students are using these databases. They're free and accessible to you everywhere you go. There's a link to academic journals. There are over 50,000 of them. And these are peer-reviewed type articles in many cases. That means other professors are looking at other professors' articles relating to a topic. They are very sophisticated, very, very complicated. Let's look at this first one, minimizing an electron flow to molecular oxygen. Okay, whatever. So this is kind of just pretty much a summary of the article. And you would have to probably click on this link down here to either access, purchase, or authenticate. And let's just see what's going on here. Maybe you can get the full text of this article. And it looks like you get a lot of it, including, wonderfully enough, the references that the authors included. So let's go back to science and context, excuse me. And these articles will be very sophisticated, content levels probably 5 or more. If you notice this article that I'm highlighting right there, the Lexile level is over 1,500. The article itself is over 10,000 words, and it came from a journal called Biotechnology for Biofuels. It was peer-reviewed, and that's actually kind of interesting. You can filter results by the content level. Just click on the content level down here at the right. Content level over 5, okay. We went from over 50,000 articles and I just clicked on the content level over 5. Let's see. It only took us down to 53,000, which doesn't really help that much. But let's look for peer-reviewed articles. And it looks like all the content level 5 articles that we just did the search for, they were peer-reviewed, which kind of makes sense because a sophisticated article like that is going to be peer-reviewed, especially when we searched in academic journals. That just kind of makes sense. And if it doesn't, give me an email, send me an email, shoot it to me. I'll explain it in even more detail. So we showed you some academic journals. We're going to look for biographies. It looks like there are 800 of them. And let's scroll down for, I've never heard of any of them. I'm not a physicist. Let's look for Owen Willens Richardson. So this is a biography of him. It looks like he dealt with electrons in some way or shape or form. Gives you a birth and death date of this person, nationality, occupation, other names that he went by. And again, there are more articles like this on the right side and related subjects. We're going to go back. And I showed you some biographies, a video. I clicked on that. It looks like there are 11 of them. A video from the Khan Academy. You might have heard of that. It's somewhat old. Just make sure you're getting some current articles here. I'm going to click on the video. And doesn't look like it really is very helpful. So I'm going to skip that. But in many cases, you can find an article, a video that you can play. Magazines, that's the bread and butter of Gale and context science. There are 10,000 articles. We can sort by relevance, newest article, document title, and content level. Let's do the newest one first. So I click newest and it automatically sorted. This is an article from Chemical Industry Digest, Potpourri Metal Air Scavenger Robot, Psi Eats, and it talks about how it powers itself. So we can filter these results by publication date over here on the right, by subject, document type, lexile measure, search within, which means we would be searching within electrons and full text, by content level and publication title, and by subject. I'm going to click on experiments because if you have a science fair that's coming up, I know, no school, but if when school comes back and you need a science experiment, this is a great place to look. There's one for electromagnetism. I'm scrolling down. I found this one. And this will help you with your science project. It talks about, I believe, attracting charges, I'm highlighting, and the magnetic plus electrical and electron movement, and words to know. And there are some experiments. This is experiment 1, and there's experiment 2 right here. I highlighted it. So I just scroll down. I'm going back up to the top of the page. I'm going back. There are audio clips of electrons. And this first one is from All Things Considered. The title is What Shape Are Electrons? I'm going to see if I can play this. And it looks like I can't, but it looks like they have the text or the broadcast right over here. This is the text. But if I want to play the audio, I can click this link that says play audio. And then this is a disclaimer telling us that we're linking to a third-party website. And it's a 4-minute listen. Let's give it a whirl.
This message comes from NPR sponsor State Farm. With the State Farm mobile app, your agent
and State Farm is advertising.
Pay your bill, file and track claims, and
sorry about that. It's almost over. A couple more seconds.
State Farm is there.
From NPR News, this is All Things Considered. I'm Robert Siegel.
And I'm Michelle Norris.
Okay, so you heard Robert Siegel from NPR announce himself, but that's how you can get to the audio clips of articles that you find. there are statistics, and then there are 6,000 plus news articles. And here they are. Again, you can sort by relevance, newest titles, document title, or content level. And let's just sort by content level. So it looks like they did the lowest first, 790 Lexile level. And this first one is Book World, 5 Earth-Shattering Changes in the New Edition of the Chicago Manual of Style, which somehow relates to Electrons. So I hope this was interesting. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email at fdaleref@nassaulibrary.org. And I have a couple of other things to mention. I will be posting this webinar to YouTube, to the Farmingdale Public Library's YouTube channel momentarily, once I finish up. And also, the library has now an Instagram account. So this will probably be linked to an Instagram article related to science or Gale in context science. Someone's probably going to summarize this article and post it onto Instagram, onto the library page. Those are briefer videos, and they'll probably link to this page. And please take a look at our YouTube page, the Farmingdale Library. Our YouTube page has a lot of great content, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye-bye.